You're in line. Very good. So how long have you been vibrating? Is that a recent thing, or it's many years already? Do you remember?
I don't know.
That probably means a few years.
Yeah.
Good. So since it has been a few years, and it looks like it, because you do it very well, since it has been a few years, I think it's probably the right time for you, in terms of the vibrato, to start looking into more colors, more speeds, because you vibrate beautifully, it's always the same speed, right? So, of course, we don't always want to have the same speed of vibrato, but many, many different colors, because a piece like this has many different colors, right? So, I think you could do a sort of a vibrato exercise that might get you into the nooks and crannies of the vibrato in terms of speeds and intensities and all that sort of thing. So, here's an exercise. You're going to do 4 different vibratos. You start, first one is only 4 per bow. Okay, that's your first one. And your second one is going to be something a little louder and kind of loose and sort of medium slow. Something like that. Okay? And then the third one is going to be sort of the real vibrato. So not so slow anymore, more narrow, a little more intensity. And then a fourth one where you're going to go absolutely wild. And you just, you go as fast as you can, as loud as you can, and kind of crazy. Okay. So those are going to be your 4 vibratos. Show me number 1. Remember, number 1 was just 4 per bow. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yes. 2, 3, 4. And then the second finger. 2, 3, 4. That's right, so that is your first one. Now here's what you're going to practice when you do the first one, is you want to make sure you have no stops whatsoever. So the vibrato should be sort of like a sinus wave, right? It's completely around it at all times, so no zigzag motion. So... it's the sound kind of wow, wow. That's it. Try that. And maybe, you know what? One more thing. You can put the bow on string. Let me use the whole bow for this exercise. Great. That's it. Good. Exactly. So that's your first one. So nice and round. Okay. Now your second one, remember, is going to be this. Kind of relaxed, easygoing vibrato. You can do it on the A string or D string, doesn't matter. Good, and then the second finger. Very good. So with this vibrato, what I would like you to practice when you go home is that the tempo is always the same, the speed is exactly the same. Not that music is that way, but you should be the boss of your vibrato. So you learn how to control the speed of the vibrato. Always the same. You see, it doesn't slow down, and it doesn't speed up. Very good. By the way, at the end of the note, same thing. Don't let it speed up, don't let it slow down. Exactly the same. You just put down a different finger, but the arm moves the same way. Very good. That's much harder than you can ever imagine. If you've tried this, if you're a violinist, to not change the speed when you put a finger down, you did really well. Okay, good. So that's your number 2. Now your third vibrato is the one that you're going to use most of the time. So, and you practice one note at a time. And then you stop and you think, and you listen. What did I like about this note? What did I like about my vibrato? What can I do better? And then you play the same note again. Try. Good. Now, if that's your everyday vibrato, I would have paid $2.50 for this note to come and hear you play. Can you play me a note that I will pay $15 to come here? One note. So that's about the price of a movie ticket. Not cheap. So you've got to give me more vibrato, more speed. I think it's getting there. So with this third vibrato, what you want to practice is more personality, more character. Okay? How about the second finger? Try. Lots of speed, lots of personality, and do use them. Great, that has personality. Can it have even more? Sizzle. You know what I mean with sizzle? It's like when you have a hot frying pan and you're about to put something in that pan that goes, that sort of energy. Yes. Even a little faster. Very good. And then you do the third finger and the fourth finger. So you practice the individual notes. That is going to be your number 3 vibrato. Remember the first one? Just 4 per bow, right? In sinus wave. The second one, remember the second one?
It was like a little faster, but not too fast.
Exactly. Plus you're going to control the speed. It's always the same, right? And the third one we go for personality. And then the fourth one, and you can do that at home in the privacy of your practice room or wherever you practice. And you just go absolutely wild. So you practice how to get faster and faster and faster. So like an electric guitar solo in a rock band. Okay? So those are your 4 vibratos. And I think if you practice that a little while, you'll start to hear more colors and more interesting speeds and differences in the tone. So let's go again from the beginning. And maybe you can start using some of these different vibratos. Vibrato that we've talked about that you need a little bit more is the faster one, and therefore the slightly more narrow one. You see, so you let it shimmer a little bit more. Okay, try a little faster. A little more narrow the vibrato. Right where you come in. It's great. It was faster. Now make it a little more narrow and then you have it. So maybe by yourself first. Wonderful. That's it. Good. wanted to talk to you about is using more bow. And using more bow doesn't necessarily always mean playing louder. It just means breathing more air into this phrase rather than restricting it to a part of the bow. Try that. Frog to the tip, to the frog, to the tip, to the frog, to the tip. And that's sizzly vibrato. Together, I think that's going to be great. So when you start, put the ball all the way up the frog. Which is amazing. Great. And by the way, I didn't mean that everything should be very forte.
Okay.
Just lots of bow. Okay. Keep going. What we're looking, you know, that one. I think what might be beautiful is if you have a clearer tone, because the notes are a little complicated there, and we want to hear every note gloriously beautifully. So, would you mind playing with me from 30?
30?
Yes. Because it's also actually kind of rich in the orchestra part, right? Can you go from 13, which is not here, but
yeah,
right before you go? Say, right, in every way. And what do you think should happen with the vibrato here? I think it's mainly a speed thing. So if you practice your number 3 vibrato quite a lot, right? play a little bit of that, then I think when you get there, you really have all that energy. Maybe from 28. Now let me sprint in here. I just found another book. Not a good edition. One more time, 28. It's all about the speed. So fast that the music falls down from the piano. Can you try that? Make the remaining part of the music fall down from the piano. You know where I started? Perfect. And then fire up the vibrato like there's no tomorrow. Yes, okay, that was great. Yes, yes, bravo. Beautiful. I think that's all I'm going to do with you today. So lots of bow and vibrato colors, right? Different speeds. Really good. All right.